All right, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, peace and blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Aki Mahaloya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. These devils are ready. All right, this article was sent to me through email, through text message. It says Army Future Commands, which is the U.S. Army's website, and they got different criteria as to what the Army is out there fighting or looking into for the most part. Like it says, multiple domain operations enable platoon. All right, because you have tracking behavioral health during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, you have Army senior leaders gather at Yuma to witness first year outcome of Project Coverance. It says U.S. Army Network cross-functional team displays full first network lethality technologies at Project Coverage 20. It says engineers and scientists test autonomous weaponry for the U.S. Army during Project Coverance 20, which I need to look more into that Project Coverance and see what it entails, because I guarantee you it has something to do with this this pandemic, as they like to say. All right, in war and proxy wars and so forth. But it says next generation combat vehicle cross-function team converged this effort during Project Coverage 20. And it says campaign of learning U.S. Army AFC introduced Project Coverage. Innovative model improves Army human agent teaming. Wow, look like biometrics. Yep, so this is the page of these demons. Look at this. Esau's a damn devil, man. He's proud as hell. Everything he got by far, man. By farce. And you know, it's so funny, man. I had to go down to the basement because they got a bunch of Ishkarites that's working on, they're renovating these apartments, because the first people that owned it, they got a warrant out. They had to go back to Dimona, Israel, I guess, because, you know, they let their properties get run into the ground. So some new people had bought it. So they making a shit ton of noise. So they show you how fucking crazy it is, because it's all Ishkarites working out here, right? And then you got this one Edomite demon. I guess he's a consultant that's out there overseeing them. So I go out there and I look. He said, "Excuse me, is this your apartment?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, we're trying to get out of here as soon as possible." But he said, "Man, they're putting so much money into these apartments to the point, you know, our bosses, they're from out there in New York. They're Orthodox Jews." I said, "Really? What's up?" And basically, so this guy like, "Oh, they're Orthodox Jews and stuff." He like, because from Friday through Sunday, they don't. I said, "Yeah, they believe in a Shabbat service." He said, "Oh, you know what the Orthodox Jew is?" I said, "I know exactly who they are." He said, "You ever been to Shabbat service?" I said, "Sure. We keep ours from through the new moons." You know, according to the new moon, we engage in our Shabbat because that's scriptural. The new moon is scriptural. And he looked at me like, "Wow," you know. He looked at me like, "Damn, okay, like fuck." I was like, "I'm actually a real Israelite." Yeah, I said, and I didn't say unlike those people or whatever. I said, "I'm actually a real Israelite." I'm like, "I'm from the tribe of Levi." All right, and then he looked at me and said, "Wow, you learn something new every day." Because the whole world, it has the conception that those people over there in the land of Israel are the real Jews, and they're really not. Okay, that's a fucking lie, all right? They even tell you in the history that they're converts in the 6th century, so that's bullshit, you know. But when I broke it down to him, man, you can see that he was cutting his spirit, but he tried to make conversation with me, you know, and act like he was all cool, because at the end of the day, man, you know, when we tell the people our heritage, they feel some type of way about it, because according to them, we ain't nothing but a bunch of niggas and spooks. But, you know, it's to the point, I'm not denying who I am. You know, I don't have to deny myself and what I am and what the Lord made us, man. So he wanted information, and he got the information, he got cut, you know, and that was the end of the discussion. But nonetheless, he was just looking like, wow. And I told him, I said, "You see these Mexicans you got working for you?" I said, "They're the biblical tribe of Issachar." I said, "Look how good they built." And then he tried to immediately throw him down and say, "Well, not all the time." I said, "Man, Issachar are some of the best workers you can find." All right. And which proves that they're not even real Israelites, these so-called Jews, because for one thing, it tells you that our people was going to be in captivity, in slavery, serving punishment. All right. Because that's the case. If we was on top, we would be in a peaceful habitat, and we're not. We're in fucking hell. All right, so out there, these devils got some fucking nerve. "Oh, my boss are Orthodox Jews." Your boss ain't shit but a bunch of goddamn devils, man. All right, I'm not denying who I am to appease you fucking cocksuckers, man. And I told him, I'm like, I'm a real Israelite of the tribe of Judah because they're so stupid. And Salaki, I know I'm all over the place, but they have the conception that there's only one tribe. Okay, if there's only a tribe of Judah, where the fuck is the 11 other tribes at? You know, where are they at? You know, because I was like, I'm of the tribe of Levi. He act like he didn't even really know what that was. I said, yeah. I said, Judah, just Jew, it's just short for Judah. All right. I said, it's 11 more tribes in Israel. You know, so these devils, man, you got to expose them because they have a lot of falsified information. All right. But anyway, getting on, it says tracking behavioral health during the COVID-19 pandemic. It says prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic significant threat to the health and readiness, the U.S. Army has implemented a range of preventative public health measures like travel restrictions. Oop, there you go. Changing the training formats and schedules to stay-at-home orders and child care facility closures and restrictions. Meaning they're moving in on the spectrum. So give me 1 second. I'm trying to get some privacy. These people all around the house, man. I ain't got no privacy inside the house. You don't sit in the vehicle. But since I cut dude kind of hard, since I kind of had a little, I ain't gonna say a debate because technically it wasn't really a debate. I just enlightened him and told him the truth. But the fact about it is, I know he feels some type of way, but he's being friendly. You know, like he's here for our benefits and shit. And I ain't want him to see the kind of car I drive because all of a sudden the fact that I told him I'm an Israelite now, you know, weird shit starts happening when, you know, these devils find out who you are. But who gives a fuck? You know, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, the whole world gonna find out the truth about who the real Israelites are, and it ain't these fucking rats over there in Israel. It's not them. All right. But anyway, it says here, prompted by the COVID-19 pandemic significance, it says U.S. Army has implemented a range of preventative public health measures like travel restrictions, martial law, checkpoints. All right. If you don't have the appropriate vaccination or if you don't have the appropriate paperwork, then you're not going to be able to get from one checkpoint to the next, one city to the next. You're going to be quarantined or detained in that particular province where you reside. All right. And that's why a lot of times when people was going to Bridgeport, Connecticut from New York, a lot of people was being held in New York because they said, well, look, man, the numbers are growing. We can't have you to come across this bridge, you know. And if you were coming from places like Texas or Cali, any place they deem a hotbed, then, hey, they was detaining you because they had that thing like you had to quarantine for 14 days. But anyway, it says implemented a range of preventative public health measures like travel restrictions, changing to training formats and schedules, stay-at-home orders, and child care facility closures or restrictions. It says, though necessary safety precautions, these measures can also cause disruption, anxiety, or fear in the lives of soldiers and their families. But added stress not only impacts the latent behavioral health conditions in the individual, but can also endanger the entire unit by limiting performance, readiness, and cohesion. But to address this critical knowledge gap, a team of behavioral scientists from the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research and the U.S. Army Public Health Center joined forces to organize the Behavioral Health Advisory Team of BAT, which stands for Behavioral Health Advisory Team, abbreviated BAT. It says, building off the model of WARE's mental health advisory teams, deployable units that conduct comprehensive behavioral health surveillance of service members in combat theater. The BAT surveyed more than 20,000 soldiers across the globe in the spring of 2020 about perceptions of COVID-19, leadership response, behavioral health and concerns, and the use of risk mitigation strategies. So the perception of COVID-19, basically what they're saying in a roundabout way is they're getting a general analysis on how people feel about this pandemic. If soldiers believe that it's fake, if it's real, they're indecisive about it, because what they do, a lot of times, a lot of these soldiers, man, all right, they go under like this particular, what is it called? Not hydroshock therapy, hell no. But basically, they have to mentally condition, they have to brainwash you, all right? They have to indoctrinate you so they can have you to converge over to their particular beliefs. Because if you, or let's just say if you were an Israelite, and you woke and you in the U.S. military, this shit ain't gonna work because your beliefs gonna get in the way of service, and they gonna just discharge you. I know that because it was several brothers that was in the armed services of this country, and they're not in the reserves no more because they're in the truth, and Esau is not dealing with that. So basically, you get your walking papers, or if you're lucky, you can get out of there with an honorable discharge at the end of your term. But nonetheless, a lot of brothers was enlisted in the military, with the fact that I was going to be one of them years ago. So I know how this thing works in a roundabout way. But it says here, across the globe, it says COVID-19 leadership response, behavioral health concerns, and the use of mitigation strategies. It says the study was designed to inform evidence-based recommendations for both leadership and public health communication strategies to slow the spread of the virus and mitigate its behavior health impact. It says it also allows us to make strategic and actionable recommendations across different echelons of the Army leadership, said Dr. Philip Cortana, a research psychologist at Rare and Bat Principles Investigator. So when you think of psychology, that's the study of the mind. Okay, psyche is mind, ecology means the study thereof. So like I said, they have these behavior health specialists, which they come in and they indoctrinate you, and they basically poison your mind with a bunch of pseudoscience and rhetoric to get you to believe in a false way of life and write it off as being true. All right. But it says here, the BAT found that soldiers have some common fears and concerns about the pandemic, including concerns about unit or mission readiness, restricted opportunities for social opportunities, changing rules and regulations. It says regulations related to COVID-19 and someone close to them getting the virus and accepted to Medicare. But the severity of these fears and concerns was linked to behavioral health symptoms, while soldiers was the greatest degree of fears and concerns about the pandemic were up to 4 times more likely to screen positive for depression and anxiety, though it is unclear which is the cause. All right, so basically, man, these people, they're going in here with a bunch of mental issues, man, with a bunch of trauma. So what happens is when a person is under work-related stress or trauma, man, a lot of times they don't react to their full capacity. Sometimes they can hallucinate. Sometimes they can do things that's out of character, and that's going to be perfect for the hour of martial law because, hey, in that day, they're just going to be rounding people up mercilessly and just beating the hell out of them, man. And that's how Esau gets down. All right, so they're ready. They're ready to make their moves. They're ready to set up this new world order. So this is the book of Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, so, hey, these soldiers, look, like they said, they under a lot of stress. They have depression. These men are not really fit for duty. Okay, like it tells you, matter of fact, I'm going to find that precept real quick. What is this? Is in the book of Jeremiah 50, I think it's in the 51st chapter, when it tells you that they forbade the fight and they retreated into the holes of their strongholds, roughly paraphrasing it. Let me find it real quick. Yep, found it. Jeremiah 51, and I'm gonna start at verses 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And it says, and the land should tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord should be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. Okay, meaning the Lord is going to lay utterly waste this whole society from point A, from California to Florida to New York. This is going to be one vast desert. It says here, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. It says the mighty men of Babylon, all right, talking about the U.S. military, have forborne to fight. All right, when you forborne, meaning that they retreat. They said, fuck, we ain't, nah, they got afraid. They're going to get overtaken over there in the Middle East. All right, they're not ready. It says they have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They've become as women. They have burnt her dwelling places and our bars are broken. Wow. So, hey, the American military is done. Like I said, man, they're already doing a psychoanalysis of a study of surveys on these men's health condition. They ain't ready for it. 6 weeks out of basic training, a lot of these men suffer from PTSD. You're calling old vets back from retirement back to kind of guide your army. They're scrambling for chips right now, and it's gonna be bad for these people. That's why if you join the military in this day and age, I'm gonna tell you like this: you go to the Middle East, you're not gonna make it back. All right, because when they call you to fight the Third World War, that's it. You ain't coming back, man. You ain't coming back alive. You coming back in a fucking box, and the box ain't even gonna make it back over here because the fucking box is gonna get melted with the nuke, with the missile. All right, so America is done. It's finished. But nonetheless, the Most High has put it on their spirit to fight. So let's read it again. It says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They become as women. They have burned our dwelling places, and our bars are broken. One post should run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken in one end, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burnt with fire, and the men of war are frightened." Man. So, hey, and they're going to get frightened when they see the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, when he's coming back in that chair. Well, Yahweh Shai, Salakia, correction. All right, because Yahweh is the Heavenly Father. Bahashem is in the name. Yahweh Shai is the Son. So, Salakia. But anyway, when they see the Lord come with that chariot, these men are going to literally give up the spirit, because that's how frightening it's going to be. And on top of that, they're going to already begin taken over by the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians. Their own nations are going to come against them. The UK, France, the EU, they're going to come against America. So they're not looking too good, And it says here, "We are planning to follow up on our survey in October of this year, and we hope to continue tracking these outcomes throughout 2021. It says, "As this virus continues to disrupt warfighters' lives and military operations, we may see shifting trends in behavioral health indicators, but continuing this work would allow us to provide the most accurate data and the relevant situations to leadership and the stakeholders across the Army." All right, so basically they're telling you that they don't have the mental capacity to deal with what's going on. These people are breaking down because they notice that patriotic dream that Babylon or America once captivated and instilled in the hearts of you red-blooded Americans, and they know that it's a crock of shit. One more precept here. It's the book of Isaiah 14. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 4. It says here that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, "How have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken his staff. The staff is the power, the military of the wicked, and the scepters of the rulers. And he who smote the people with wrath and a continued stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth." Okay? So this man is done. He's finished. Going down to this whole chapter is good, but I'm jumping around a little bit. But it says, "And the whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art come down, no fellows come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for to meet thee at thy coming, and is stirred up the dead for thee, and even all the chief ones of the earth, if raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, and they shall speak and say, Art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?" Right? Because once again, shit, years ago, people didn't think America could be touched. I mean, the average patriotic devil never in his mind thought that this can be the case. Oh yeah, America's gonna last forever. Now look at it. They're being defeated by a pandemic, something they conjured up out of their own wickedness. And it says, "And thy pomp is brought down to the grave," which is the pride, "and the noise of thy vows, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms covered thee," which goes into this infrastructure. But spiritually or symbolically, this is talking about them being in a dead state, because once worms and maggots eat at your body, that means that your body is dying, meaning that you're dead. All right, you have no power. And it says, "And how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou that," it says, "how art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations," because of the pride. And it says here, foot 16, it says, "They shall see thee narrowly and look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. That's right. Esau, Edom. Because if you pay attention to all these different criterias here, these men are all over the freaking world. Yep. So anyway, one more precept, then we out of here. I don't even know how I'm gonna name this lesson because it seemed like I was just kind of in different places going into different things. But what the hell? Oh, accidentally cut. But anyway, Jeremiah 50, and I'm gonna start at verses 22. It says, "The sound of battle was in the land, and of great destruction. But how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" Okay. So anyway, with that, brothers, Lord's will you will edify, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Shemi Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and Abba Abba.